So hello, beautiful Starlight Tribe, and welcome to Magic Month of February 2021. For those of you that have not met me before, my name is Karila, and I'm from the Starlight Temple, which is a company that does all sorts of courses and journeys and ceremonies that are about using channeled and spiritual tools to become more empowered, more connected, more of yourself and your truth, and to live a more fulfilled life. And Magic Month is a energy forecast for the month ahead. So it gives you channeled guidance and astrological insights and nature shifts, so that you can use that information to align with what is happening outside of you and have the most empowered month that you can, working with the energies that are creating change in us all the time. And hello to those of you that are listening live. I'd be really grateful if you can let me know that you can hear and see, and that the technology is working correctly. And I'm really, really, really excited about the forecast for February 21. It's mighty and interesting and filled with so much potential. So I'm really, really looking forward to sharing it. I'm glad the technology is working. And let's begin with and yes, happy full moon. First full moon of 21. But let's begin with a meditation just to bring us into circle, into connection, into the beauty that is happening now. And so closing your eyes and feeling the little muscles around your eyes, relaxing, allowing your face to smile into the now, and allowing that relaxation to roll down all of the muscles in your back, to drop down into your hips, to soften your hands and your feet. Really notice your body releasing and relaxing, making space for all that you are to be here now. And as you make this space, as you soften, as you arrive, just give the weight of your body to the gravitational love of Mother Earth. Give the weight of that which you are holding, all of those things that you are worrying about or needing to do and are weighing on you. Giving that weight to Mother Earth. And giving the weight of your life the gravity and just allowing yourself to be held as you connect to the love inside of this gravity, the love that the earth has for you and all that you are. The allowance and permission just to be you. As you open your heart to Mother Earth, to Mother Gaia, and feel a grounding cord from your belly going all the way down through the different layers of the earth, down in to the iron core crystal in the center of the earth. And feel the iron in your blood vibrating with the iron at the heart of the Great Mother. As she drops you deeper into yourself, her iron vibrational massage. Notice how she is helping you to let go into this great change that we are living through. And feel her heart song to life filling your heart. Feel life as song flooding your heart. As a big beam of source light comes into your energy now, brightening all of the colors of you. As your aura is sealed from top to bottom in white and golden light. Know that only love and light can enter into your energy. And a foot away from the edge of your aura, feel the white and rainbow fires wrapping around your energy, so that any energy released from any direction during this webinar can be transmuted into love and light. And choose to come into the joy of being divinely protected. As you open your hearts to each other, to those that you are sharing this webinar with. And feel all of these humankind hearts opening to you, celebrating you, welcoming more of you right here right now. And as you come into energetic circle, as you choose to be in the pleasure of these energies of life, that flood your inner, feel your heart beating with the hearts of those you share this webinar with in spirit and in form. Connecting to the heartbeat of humanity and all of its capability and possibility, and the celebration and excitement that runs through life in this time of great change. As you feel Mother Luna in her fullness, helping to make you more wild, more expansive, and more magnetic. Now open your hearts to the sanctuary of yourselves and ask, why am I here? Why was I called to listen to Magic Month this evening? And just let your hearts answer you in words, in pictures, in knowing, in sensation. As you breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming into the room. Woohoo! I'm liking the energy that we are opening Magic Month of February with. It is very, very celebratory. And at the end, we're going to be doing a really special lunar activation and meditation to get us into this vibe of February. But do share what came to your hearts while you're here. And please know that I love my webinars to be co-creative. And so please do use the chat box at any time to share your own insights, your own guidance, your own wisdom and tunings in about February. Which is a really, really, really exciting month. You know, one of the kind of biggest realizations I've had, that I think I mentioned in January's Magic Month, is that we're in the 21st year. And 21 is all about coming into adulthood. And definitely my guides have started to talk about this passage that humanity is in right now, which is about coming into adulthood, coming into co-creative responsibility for life on Earth. It feels like we are in the eye of the storm of that at the moment. And but as I kind of tuned in about that, my guides are just saying, yeah, but it's time to become the storm. And I feel like February in many ways is an invitation to become the storm, to become who we are going to be, or more of who we are going to be. It's got some really incredible astrological events happening. There are going to be, I believe, huge shifts in the way that we think and feel, and huge opportunities to open our eyes. And I'm loving all that you guys are saying. Like those of you that are sharing on the chat, is like you're coming with power, and there is this sense of power in February. And that, the root word of power is to be able. It's about capability. And that feels so important at this time. And amazing. Thank you for that insight about 21 being the world in the tarot deck. And yeah, February is very much, and 2021 is very much about the earth, very much about turning to the earth. Well, this is what my reading and insight on it is. So let's go into the forecast. I'm going to start on the 30th, right at the end of January, because Mercury goes retrograde on the 30th. And what a retrograde is it's when a planet appears like it's going in the opposite direction in our sky. And so the theme of that planet, my understanding is that the planets rule the currents of our consciousness, different currents of our consciousness. And the theme or the current of the consciousness that planet rules when it's going retrograde, it's like you do it on the inside rather than on the outside. So Mercury retrograde tends to take us inwards, because it's all about communication. It's not so good for technology, but it tends, that tends to be when there's like, computer's not working, travel not happening. But it's an invitation to run inwards. And the reason I feel that's so perfectly aligned for February is February feels like a planetary reset of our values. So some of you will have watched Magic Month of January, where I was saying that I always feel actually that, January is kind of a bridge month between the 2 years, and we only truly feel what the year is really about when we get to February. If you're in the northern hemisphere, that starts on the 1st with the festival of Imbolc, which is the festival of the beginning of spring. And, I remember years ago on Magic Month when I heard that Imbolc, the 1st of February was the beginning of spring. And I was like, no way. Look at the weather. It's not the beginning of spring. And then after hearing that, I went for a walk and I suddenly was like, no, it is. There are these little tiny buds. It's like when you just around the 1st of February really is when you see those first signs of the winter ending and the spring beginning. And spring is all about potential, and Starlight's actually doing an inner discovery journey on potential at the moment. And one of the most amazing pieces of guidance that came out of it was that potential is not a horizon that you can never reach, as we have been told. Potential is when you are willing to become so vulnerable, to go so beyond what you know, that you connect with your soul. It's actually something that we meet inside of us. And this is always what spring is about breaking free and letting the inside, the desires, the longing, the dharma meet with life so that it can blossom. And so very much for me, the year begins with Imbolc. And this Imbolc is particularly important because Venus, which is the planet that one of the two most delicious planet currents of consciousness. Venus is all about the heart and love. And she moves into Aquarius on the 1st. And so why this is so important is because it's the kind of, it's called and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it, it's called a stellium. So when Venus moves into Aquarius, right at the start of what I feel is like more officially the year, especially because we also have the Chinese New Year in early February. Venus moving in kind of adds to the stellium of planets that are in Aquarius. It's actually quite rare for lots of planets to all be in the same sign at once. And from the 1st, when Venus moves in, and it's so significant. It's like, yes, the consciousness of the heart moves into Aquarius, and then we feel what this age that we're moving towards, what the potential, on the festival of potential, on the festival of kind of breaking out of what was, the planet of heart and love moves into Aquarius and joins this stellium, which means that like I said, a stellium is when up to 3 planets is in the same constellation. But in this case, there are, depending on how many things you count as a planet, there are up to 7, all in Aquarius. And that just feels, like we are going to be showered, all of these planets that kind of influence our consciousness are all going to be hanging out in Aquarius. And so we have this amazing kind of imprint filtering down from the skies into our consciousness about what Aquarius is going to be like. And, that retrograde of kind of communicating inwards is how we will find out, because our consciousness is inwards. And we've been Piscean. We're moving from, a lot of astrologers say that this is really the first year that is the age of Aquarius. So we have been in Pisces. And so we've perceived and manifested and created life through the filter of Pisces. And now it's like we're being showered in what Aquarius is, so that we can find out. And we find out by turning inwards, by going inwards, by tuning inwards. And so on the new moon, which is in Aquarius, very much a moon about emotional freedom on the 11th. 11 is like the awakening number. So I feel like those first kind of 11 days of February are really about listening and tuning in and connecting and learning and absorbing and understanding what it means to be you as an Aquarian being. Because like I said, so much of the currents of your consciousness are filtered with it, because of this stellium. So we have the sun in Aquarius. We have the moon in Aquarius. The sun is like truth. So our illumination, our truth is in Aquarius. The moon is our emotions. And so our emotions are Aquarian. And we have Mercury. So our communication with ourself, with the earth, with life is going to be Aquarian. Venus, the way in which we love, is going to be Aquarian. Jupiter, the planet of path and abundance and expansion, is in Aquarius. And Saturn, the planet of law, order, and karma, are in Aquarius. So, I mean, really, though, between those things, you get a pretty good chunky book of chapters on what Aquarian consciousness is. And I feel like actually it's really, really important that we are are listening in and tuning in and discovering and learning about what Aquarius means to you as a living, breathing being of consciousness. The reason I say depends what you count as a planet is some astrology also counts asteroids as like mini planets. And Pallas Athena is also in Aquarius, and she is kind of wisdom and warfare and skill and strategy. And so, we really have this opportunity to think like an Aquarian, to experience like an Aquarian, to rise into what it means to be Aquarian warriors and wisdom keepers. And, this is going to be for most of February that there's this stellium happening. And what is kind of amazing and magical about it is this stellium it parallels to a stellium that was experienced in February, I believe almost to the date, in 1962, where there were 7 planets in Aquarius. And that kind of, in astrological terms, was like the in bulk of the age of Aquarius, like the very beginning of the age of Aquarius. And so, if you want to know what the kind of potential on the big collective level, very often when there's a big astrological event, the best kind of reading you can get is to go, okay, what was it like the last time this happened? And obviously the 1960s was this time of kind of great social and political change, revolution, awakening and exploring freedom. And so we have the potential for another kind of 1960s style decade that is about really being the bringers of the age of Aquarius. And, that's going to be explosive. The 60s was incredible for technological growth and change and social and political change. And, it was amazing. And so, this really kind of has that mirror energy to it. And this happens, that moon is, I would really spend, if you can, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, communicating inwards, going inwards, being like, okay, what are the values of Aquaria? What do they mean? Like, what is all of this change that is happening inside me about what did 2020 do that maybe changed what I wanted out of life? And what I know that for me, one of the things that I'm really feeling is this massive shift of being like, I want more community. One of the things that my guides kind of showed me about this time is it's almost like the outer reality that's going on is helping us to begin to long for the values of Aquaria, because longing is this ancient feminine power of being able to call energy into manifestation, into form. My guides say it's like, actually, it's the energy of longing that brings the soul into the womb, that brings the soul into form. And this crazy reality we're living right now is allowing us to start to long for what the values of Aquaria are, such as community. Sometimes we have to not have it to know that we really, to have it really taken away in order to really begin to long for it. And I feel like in February, we're going to get so much more clarity about what we are longing for, what we are manifesting. And on that new moon, which you could say is like the first moon of the proper start of the year, it is such a powerful time to be kind of manifesting and longing and co-creating with the universe. And that moon really is, the portal in to the kind of full flood of the year, because, I've done Magic Month for years, and it changed, you notice the difference when the Chinese New Year starts. That's when you really go, okay, the energy of this year has changed. And on the 12th of February is when we get the new Chinese cycle. And it is the year of the metal ox. And the ox is, really quite a I want to say simple in a way. It's like there's a groundedness and a loyalty and a gentleness and a trustworthiness in the year of the ox. It's very much a year that is about hard work and integrity and duty and discipline and commitment, and also about rebuilding and repairing. And what I feel is that this, this ox energy in a way of this new year is going to be about really kind of repairing the chaos that 2020 and not even repairing backwards, though, repairing forwards, if that makes sense. There's also this incredible conjunction of Venus and Jupiter happening on the 11th and the 12th. And, they're the really juicy planets. They're like both in Aquarius, path and heart. And so it's opening up to fresh energy, to hope, to future orientated, big social abundance, expansion. And, these are all really nice, positive, wonderful energies to be starting the year of the metal ox. I actually, when I was doing the research for this, came across a beautiful story from the Chinese astrology about the ox. That is, that the story goes is that, the ox was like this being in heaven, and humanity was suffering so much. And so the ox, who was the star in heaven, was sent by the gods and goddesses to earth with the instruction to tell the people of the earth that she would help them avoid starvation, and they would eat every 3 days. And the ox got it wrong and told humanity that they would eat 3 times a day, not every 3 days. And the ox felt so bad that she had kind of got it wrong and given the humans false hope, that now the ox labors for humanity without complaint. And this is the kind of essence of what the year of the ox is about. It's about working for humanity. This is the key to Aquarius. It's about honesty, integrity, duty, discipline for the helping of humanity. And being diligent and conscientious and not impulsive, but careful. And, the fact that Aquarius is also starting with the retrograde, saying going inwards. This is the way to rebuild. This is the way to repair. This is the way to restructure. In terms of the metal part of it, the metal is, when it's a metal year, it's very kind of clean and pristine and shiny. It's very much about decluttering. It's kind of connected to the season of autumn and in the ox, that's about stability and nourishment and kind of the resilience that comes through nourishment. The ox is earth. And so very much it's about us, this year turning to the earth, committing to the earth, committing to humanity, committing to our soul contracts as light workers and way showers, to show up in the way the ox does and kind of honor the big promises that our souls have made humanity and each other, and doing it clean, doing it in integrity. I think what we're going to see is really this year so much of what is out of integrity is going to be so undeniably seen, where the cleaning needs to happen, where the alchemy needs to happen. And definitely Mother Earth and that grounded way is going to be our sanctuary. And yeah, like you say, I love that. So the earth has an iron core. So yes, it's about connecting to the heart of the earth and finding her heart in the iron in our hearts, living by the blood. And, if anything, 2020 bowed humanity to the earth. And now it's time to start listening and working from that bow with the year of the ox. And so it feels, even when I'm talking, it just feels like there's February. And then definitely around this time, it's very powerful to be doing healing. I also always liked, before we go into 17th, I like to mention that February is Valentine's Day. And to me, from a spiritual point of view, that it's always a month that should be dedicated to love, to self-love, to evolution of the heart, because the collective consciousness starts thinking about the heart and love. And so it's really powerful time for self-love. And on the 17th, we have one of the most important astrological events of 2021. 2020 had several really key astrological events where you literally, as we were talking about them on Magic Month, you were seeing, world changes happening on such a huge level. And there are 3 in 2021 that then there's a kind of completion of them in 2022 that are really important. They are 3 squares between Saturn in Aquaria at the moment, which is, like I said, the planet of law, order, and karma, and really ruled all of 2020. Saturn and what it was doing was creating the party that we just lived through in 2020. And this square is Saturn meeting Uranus, and Uranus is the planet of revolution. And so when Saturn is square Uranus, what you've got is law, order, and karma meeting the planet that is the opposite. That is all about revolution and change. And Uranus in Taurus, that's when that revolutionary energy is really happening at the root. And this first square, it is its themes astrologically are about slavery and freedom, and the balance and imbalance of structure. And I mean, we don't have to look far to see that those themes are already being dragged up by this square. And in fact, there's 2 others. There's one in June, and there's one on the 24th of December, and then there's another meeting of those planets in 2022, early 2022. And so definitely these are kind of like major astrological events for this year. The first one is February 17th. And it's like, if you want to know what this year is about on a collective level, it is about that freedom, slavery, balance and imbalance of structure. One of, when there was a square of Saturn and Uranus, it happened in 1929 when the stock market crashed and the Great Depression was brought in. That's how powerful that square can be in terms of our root and our foundation. And we all know it's coming. There is a collapse or a winter or a kind of complete financial system upheaval, breakdown. It's part of the ascension process. And apocalypse and ascension, they have similar themes. And so this collapse that we know is coming, I really feel it's going to come this year. And that, you don't need to be scared of that, because if you're bowed to the earth, if you're serving the earth, she will support you. She will flow with you. It's what is not of service that is being broken open and realigned and restructured and receiving this energy of revolution. But around that time is so powerful. Do the work on your abundance blocks, on your trust. One of the things I was doing in my own healing work was I had this realization in a ceremony I was doing that all of the fear in me, it's the parts of me that haven't been fully connected to the earth, because she just trusts. And every time we let those parts of us meet the earth and touch the earth, then we can open up and receive and be in the eye of the storm, or better still, be the storm. And I feel like what February is doing is inspiring us and spiraling us and whipping us up and getting us ready, those of us that are willing, ready to be the storm. And then, so 17th is a really powerful time. Really powerful time. Okay, just noticed that the connection is frozen. Can you hear me and see me now? I'll just check that everybody can. It wasn't a temporary freeze. So let me know. Can you hear and see? It's always a little bit of a delay. Yes. Okay, good. Brilliant. And so I don't know where I got to, but if it was a big freeze, let me know where we got to. And so yeah, I feel like what February is doing is inspiring us and whipping us up and preparing us to become the storm of change, to become the revolution, to hold it and become it. And this is around the 17th is the right time to be doing the healing work, to be doing the deep inner work. And that's going to be a big healing time. Expect to be emotional, expect to be having those structures of the self broken down in Uranus and Taurus. Expect to have a physical purge in your body, my guides are saying. And then on the 18th, the sun enters Pisces. So it's like what we do is we collect all of this Aquarian energy, and then we're faced with our Piscean truth. And we can see what fits and what doesn't fit in our lives. It's very much a month of clarity. And just as the sun has entered in to Pisces on the 20th, Mercury goes direct. And then it's like, okay, take all of this inner communication into action, out into the world. And on the 27th, We then have the full moon, and I really feel like those Aquarian values that you've got from the stellium, that you've got from literally just having all of your consciousness vibrating with what Aquaria is in its totality. You know, even as I was tuning in, I was like, it's the 7 chakras. You know, we are being flooded with Aquarius the whole month, and given opportunities to heal, given opportunities to manifest, given opportunities to break open. And by the full moon, your heart should be full of the clarity of Aquarius. Another really powerful time to manifest. And my guides are saying really that full moon is about manifesting for the big future, many of you have been so in the mystery, and you're just like, I don't even know, I can only be present. And that full moon feels like a portal out of this time of kind of being only present and into the world with what we want, the new direction, where we're going. And then wonderfully on the 28th, straight after, in the energy of the full moon, which is always about expansion and abundance and coming, and the emotionality that is required for that, the emotional shakeup that is required for that. It's another powerful time to heal. On the 28th, we have a grand earth trine, which is the moon in Virgo. And the moon is kind of our emotions, our water with Virgo. Pluto which is the planet of death and rebirth and transformation, in Capricorn, and Mars in Taurus. And, you know, these are all earth. And so it's like, and the triangle, it's life, you know? And so it's like life needs to come about the earth, but it also means that all of those inner stirrings, again, a very powerful time to manifest, because the earth strengthens things. She makes things confident. She makes things matter. She makes things become. And so it's a really if you use the sky at that time to really manifest into action, into becoming, into form these values that we are longing for and dreaming and tuning to and discovering and creating. And what this month is all about is massive transition of consciousness, you know? But it's also about starting to come into action. You know, humanity's at tipping point, and that is what I feel like we're going to start feeling this month. And the tipping point requires the 99% to be on side with each other, to be together, to use this time for positive change, to choose freedom, to choose restructuring, to choose rebuilding, to choose the values of the ox. Like, in the end, it is always free will. And it's kind of like one of those months where I feel like there is a new stepping up into that kind of concept of being the change. This time is a very, very powerful time for manifestation. And so don't forget to manifest, because, you know, as my guides put so wisely earlier in January, they said, you know, you're surrounded by space and chaos. They are two of the most creative, primarily creative energies that exist. And while we're so busy focusing on what we don't have and what's going wrong, and not using these energies to manifest, we're kind of wasting the abundance of manifestation energy that we are surrounded by. And so I recommend manifesting, and manifesting through potential, which means manifesting going beyond. This is what our final meditation is going to be about. But it's manifesting going beyond what you think is possible. And actually, when I have manifested, I've noticed that it comes in so quickly because there is so much space and chaos. It's also time. And this is what my guides are going to channel a bit more about, but it's time to come into more certainty. You know, we've done this, I don't know, great mystery, chaos thing. Now, what I feel in February is it's time to take your stand. In a way, time to choose your side. And not side in terms of battle, because that's Piscean, but side in terms of values. You know, as I was tuning into this magic month, I had this realization that, you know, we perceive the 60s as this amazing, amazing time where all this revolution and equality and amazing things happened. It happened because people stood up and spoke. It happened because people had the courage to stand up for what they believed in the face of it being met with massive resistance. That happened because people were willing to be freedom fighters, and we as the way showers have to have that courage. We have to stand up for what we believe in. And I'm not telling you what to believe in, but I am telling you this year, when you tune into February and beyond, it's like, okay, the time is now. The time is now. And I'm going to speak a little bit, you know, one of the things that I found, so my decision because there's so much truth chaos out there at the moment, is that I'm only believing what I actually see for myself. But one thing I can tell you that I am seeing for myself is the suppression of information. You know, even tuning into Magic Month, I can't believe how hard it is to get an astrology report when it used to be so easy just to Google it. Try it for yourselves. What is suddenly available is different from what it used to be. And knowledge is power. And so our power, our right to information should not be restricted or taken away. And if it is being, then we have to know something else, and we have to know ourselves. And that's why certainty is so important right now. That's why turning inwards is so important right now, because you have to turn to a knowledge that is more trustworthy than what is on the internet. A knowledge that is more ancient, the knowledge that belongs to the deep feminine, that belongs to the earth. And it finally made me understand what so many channels have talked about a spiritual war, because I never resonated with that. But it's not like a battle in the way that it's sometimes portrayed in my understanding. But this, when it's a spiritual war, it's a battle of consciousness. You know, it's a battle of like, can you hold your own? Can you know in the face of everything what is right? Because you know what? In the 1960s, so much of what we now agree was the right thing to do, they would have been faced with so much resistance. And they knew that it was right, not because there was anything written, but because they knew it in themselves, because they knew themselves. And we, as the light workers, as the way showers, as the people that made that contract, like the ox, we have got to honor it and start to know what is right and wrong that we are seeing, and do something about it, and become the storm, and become the revolution, and become the safety of what is right and wrong. And this is why connecting to the earth and the deep feminine, that the ancient wisdoms that are innate, the knowings that don't come from any books or any teachings, but come from the deep communing. Those powers are the powers that it doesn't matter how many billions someone has or how many weapons a government has, or like those powers are more powerful because they are the powers of the earth, because they are the powers of that mean that our human DNA is resilient. And it's time to claim these. It is time to start speaking up and being fearless and connecting to our earth and our source selves and our integrity of what is right and wrong. And if things are feeling wrong, we need to fight for what is right. And that means we're going to need to be prepared to be vulnerable and potential and miracles and impossible. But how else are we going to midwife this new age through? And this is what that thing of responsibility is all about, this adulthood. Taking the power back and give and choosing the laws that we want to live by, which for me are the laws of the earth. And being responsible for what we believe in. You can't be responsible for what anyone else believes in, but you can stand and hold your truth and not be wavered. And that is the shift that I see in February, is your truth. It becomes you. And so you better start knowing what it is. Because if you're going to walk in doubt, then the other truths are going to overcome you. In this, that is the tipping point of consciousness. In this, that is the portal between freedom and slavery. And so this is why our self-work is so important, and this is why our voice is so important, and this is why our trust is so important. And February is the beginning of what is going to be one of the most challenging and exciting and amazing journeys of humanity. Before we go into this moon activation for vulnerability and potential, if you I just want to let you know about some of the starlight offerings that we have that might help you in this amazing, beautiful time. The first one on Inbox is a year of Held in Prayer. Held in Prayer is absolutely amazing. It's a ceremony where people hold prayer for an hour and 11 minutes. And they take it in turns. So everyone starts on the hour and prayer is constantly held. 168 prayer keepers, often more when we've done it before. When we did it at the end of last year, we had more people. You can have more than one person holding the prayer. And prayer is constantly held. And what prayer does is it makes, when you're held in prayer, you essentially bring your heart into oneness. So you come into the field of oneness. And just like a starling, you become unlimited. So you become from this tiny little sovereign being that can't do very much to an unlimited being, because you're multiplied, you're in oneness, you're in the field of the power of the human heart. And you can feel this. I cannot tell you. When Held in Prayer was on, I coped with lockdown better. My emotions were more stabilized. My vibration was higher. My vibration was higher. There was music happening. There was celebration. No, it was it was one of the most incredible experiences of my spiritual life. You could feel the prayers as you were going to sleep. This didn't only happen to me. So many people that were part of it were just like, yeah, I feel so much better. I feel so, manifesting was better. Healing was better. It was like you came into the unlimited self in that field. And we need to be in the unlimited self right now. We have amazing tasks ahead of us. And so Held in Prayer is happening. It's happening it's happening for a year and a day, ending on the 2nd, 2022 portal. You don't have to be part of it for the whole year. If you take a prayer slot, you need to let us know so that we can fill it if you decide to leave. It's by donation. There's amazing offerings within it, like channelings about lost temple ceremonies, light work, vibration raising work. The community is amazing. It is. And with this one, we're praying with Mother Earth. And even in the preparation, we can feel her energy and her heartbeat within it. And so it's filled with earth magic, and it's so perfect for the year of the metal ox, the heartbeat of Gaia, the heartbeat of humanity. It is part of our kind of spiritual revolution and resistance to hold each other in prayer, to hold each other in community. So Held in Prayer is happening. And really, I believe that this ceremony is being offered by Spirit to the way showers and the light workers to help, because they're doing so much holding of other people. This is a way for the people that are awake to be held, because you're constantly held. And when you're held, that's when you can grow. That's when you can evolve. That's when you can recharge. I had so much more energy when Held in Prayer was on. It's amazing. So that is Held in Prayer. Then I've also been guided. And by the way, you can click these links and they will open up. I've also been guided at the end of the month, which I'm really excited about, to do a once a week 6 channeled lessons in holding yourself. It's a course called Beloved. Unlike most Starlight courses where there's loads to do, this is only once a week. And it's channeled lessons in the 4 C's of safety, which my guides say are connection, community, compassion, and communication, and how they lead you into self-certainty. So if you're feeling flung about, this course is about learning to hold your truth, to hold your own, and to grow, not through pain, but grow into love, because you're holding proper space for yourself. And when you hold proper space for yourself, then you're becoming a frequency keeper. Then you're able to hold the eye of the storm and then become the storm of change. And the energies of it are so loving. There's all these beautiful kind of attunements. It's going to be completely live, so most of it, I don't know what it is, but I've tuned in. It just feels like deliciousness and really, really, really learning to love yourself as a beacon of this time, and becoming beloved, which is so important for the financial crash, actually, because the law of belovedness is that we receive because we are beloved, and it allows us to also stay outside of that chaos and breakdown and drama. The more beloved we become, the more spacious we become, the more we can anchor, the more that we can hold, and the more we can fulfill. And so that's Beloved. That's starting at the end of the month. Again, you can click the link and open it in another tab. And then the final course that isn't starting till March, but I'm so glad that it's happening. It's our very, very beautiful Rise of the Divine course, which is a journey, a deep dive, ceremonial light and shadow healing into the kind of power of the feminine. So that knowing those kind of lost spiritual gifts that are so important for this time, those feminine ways, that deep connection with the earth, the awakening of the wild power, that of course is a journey through the archetypes of the feminine, reclaiming the ones that have been completely forgotten. You know, this idea that there is only maiden, mother, and grandmother is, you know, there's all the lost archetypes like the Magdalene and the Midnight Goddess. And so it's about collecting all of them and coming into your wholeness. That course is women only. The other two aren't, just because this course also works with the seasons of the cycle and stuff that is women or priesty women that identify as women or unity beings in a woman's body. And you know, the call for this one, it's from Mother Earth, and it just says, my priestess, it is time for you to remember too, for your womb to swell with wild power. It is time to live by sacred rituals. It is time for you to journey through the aspects of the goddess, known and unknown, light and shadow, until the myths have crumbled. Then you can dance naked with your truth, shining for all to see. It is time to cycle with the moon through the sacred spiral points of the womb. It is time to rise open-armed into your divinity, into all that you can be. And so that starts on International Women's Day on the 8th of March, because like I said, the medicine, the power, the revolution, it's got to come from those lost feminine ways, from those things that we have suppressed within us. So you can click the link and find out about that. I'm going to put Held in Prayer back up as a link, because every single person, in my opinion, should do Held in Prayer. Like, Held in Prayer, like I said, is by donation. You can donate whatever feels right for you at the end of the month. So it's possible for everybody to do. There are prayer keepers all over the world. And like, honestly, to be held at this time where we feel so unheld and so unstable, it allows us to access who we truly are. And that means it allows us to do what we are here to do in the most unlimited sense. And so, I really recommend for your sanity and well-being and the possibility of your paths being part of it, if it is calling you. And amazing that your flat is being soundproofed and you're going to drum and sing in Held in Prayer. That's amazing. And so can you hear the fire and the charge and the aliveness and the inspiration has come out of me tuning in to Magic Month of February? And this is what I feel Magic Month of that February is going to be all about. And you know what? It came from me feeling pushed too far. So I also think that on a collective level, we're going to be pushed further until we step up into our voice, into our truth, into our power, into our courage, into our contracts and our promises, and into our togetherness. And so expect all of that being pushed even further, and where it pushes you into to come. And the card I've pulled for us is Harmonic Flight. This is our card of the month, and then we will go into the message and the meditation. Seeing the divine in the eyes of another relationships with deep bonds, karmic connection, clearing illusionary projections, life-changing connection, transmuting dissonance, removing heart armor, being seen, teamwork. Feels perfect. Feels perfect. And it's time. It's time to not waste your time. You know, one of the beautiful messages my guide said was just like, look at the potential of everybody. Don't go into the drama of it. Look at the potential. Believe in humanity. Because that activates Aquaria. That activates the potential. You know, beauty, as my guide so beautifully put the other day, beauty is not how you appear, it's what you see. And so let's start seeing all the good that is happening. And so now we are going to let this activation happen and bring through whatever message the guides want to bring about February. Feeling the energy of Goddess Luna streaming silver light into you. And as this silver light streams in to you, notice that held within it are the cosmic wake up codes for this next stage of your collective ascension process. And as these codes, waves of light stream into you, they meet with the earth codes, the Eden codes that great Mother Gaia has been dreaming into your DNA since March 2020, and we invite you to feel the meeting of these codes, magnetically connecting like pieces of a puzzle, fitting perfectly together in perfect and divine timing. And we say that, yes, this time of tipping point is a time that requires your choice, your will and willingness to believe in your truth and stand and hold what is right, visibly and audibly. But we also invite you to experience that there is every trust and faith that you will. Because Luna, Gaia, and the star nations that are transmitting to you effortlessly believe in the power of your humanity. We believe in you and in your goodness and in your courage. And we say this cosmic awakening code, meeting with the Eden code, streams through into the collective consciousness, through all of the portals of late January, February, and March. We also believe in your ability to let go. To let go of holding on to how things were, so that you can begin to move towards how things will be. And the potential of what can be created. In the future. And we believe in your potential. We say that yes, many of you that are awakeners, indigos, way showers, contracted to be the leaders of this time of revolution, will need to be vulnerable. But we say that what you perceive vulnerability to be is actually the experience, the resistance to vulnerability. And many of you have not truly felt what it is to be in the two-way flow of vulnerability and power. And we invite you, as these codes are still initiating within you, to experience this. What happens when you become certain of your way, fully committed to your promise, like the ox. And we say that certainty comes from holding space around yourself. And so we invite you to be spacious now, to tune out of all that is not your truth, to connect to that power point of knowing in your bellies. And feel from this knowing a golden tube of light streaming down into the crystalline heart of Mother Gaia. This is not your grounding cord. It is more like a transmitter, a receiver, and as you connect into the crystalline heart of Great Mother Earth, experience your inner knowing, becoming more engaged, more activated. Hold in your hearts the willingness to let go of that which is draining. Your energy or distracting you from your truth and from your commitment. All of that avoidance of the commitment that you have made. And as you choose to let this go, notice that you are becoming vulnerable. And know that vulnerability is the magnetic call to your potential. It is the calling in of your potential, which is the promise of your soul to earth and humanity. And choose to become more vulnerable, feeling electric, magnetic currents from the center of certainty that is connected to the crystalline heart of Mother Earth, making you more vulnerable. And notice as you become more vulnerable, you move out of the contraction that is before vulnerability and in to the two-way flow of power and vulnerability, which is capability of your heart, capability of your truth. Feel yourself becoming more vulnerable, more capable, more certain, feeling yourself being charged, feeling these Eden cosmic activation codes becoming illuminated, feeling yourself being energized, readied for that which is the spark of the revolution that is February 2021, and feeling this current of vulnerability making you alive, noticing how it is your certainty that grounds your aliveness as electricity electricity, choosing to become more vulnerable now. And we suggest that this practice that we are gifting you, either as simply as every time you feel vulnerable, choosing to be more vulnerable so that you come into the calling in, the expanding and opening into your potential, your contract, your promise to humanity, which has the support of your soul and the support of the earth. Or practicing this energetic meditation, if that is helpful to you. But simply the intention is enough. And noticing if you feel ready. If you feel energized. Opening your heart to what you are certain of. And committing to holding space for that truth. For being beloved in that truth. This journey of your evolution, this year, like the ox, is about becoming steady in your truth. Working towards the creation of the reflection of that truth. Not being so whipped, tossed, or unwilling to be visible. But coming into the sanctuary and belief in yourself, in your truth. And realizing that your truth has always been beloved. It has simply been waiting for you to believe in it. So much so that you are willing to be more and more and more vulnerable, and therefore more and more and more of the potential of it. Breathing in love and breathing out gratitude. Breathing in love and breathing out gratitude, feeling the violet Flame coming through your energy, transmuting all energy that does not serve or belong into love and light, if it is ready to be transmuted. Feeling a golden rain shower of light, taking any energy that is meant to go to Gaia, and a big beam of source light, taking any energy that is meant to go somewhere else, wherever it is in the highest good for it to go. Sending our love and gratitude to Luna, the star councils of the light and Gaia, to each other, and to the heartbeat of humanity. I will put the links up of, so that's beloved. You can click the link and it will open in another tab and you can find out more about it. That is Rise of the Divine. Again, you can click the link and it will open in another tab and you can find out more about that. And then the final link I'll put up is Held in Prayer. At the moment, we have 166. And so we have 2 more prayer slots to fill. They are the early hours of the morning. So if you know anybody in Australia or America or another time zone, we need to fill those. And then we'll be opening up timetable 2, and you can pick whatever time you want. But we need to fill those last 2 slots before we can open timetable 2, because prayer has to be constantly held. So please do spread the word, especially to anybody that pops in your head in America, in Australia, in Japan, in other time zones. I'm glad you found today's magic month powerful. I found it powerful too. February is going to be powerful, and we are the power. Our love, our humanity, our belief is the power. We are the revolution. I love you all. You are all amazing. Thank you for your paths. Thank you for your lives. Thank you for your beautiful truths. Magic Month will be on next month. In the meantime, there's going to be loads of glorious things, especially if you're part of Held in Prayer. Like loads of things are included in the donation for Held in Prayer. And yeah, see you all soon. So much love to you all.